Some people spend years trying to figure out why they feel broken, when really it's that their brain had to learn how to survive too early. This video is about when childhood trauma and ADHD collide, and why so many of us grew up thinking the problem was in our character instead of our nervous system. If you've ever wondered why ADHD symptoms feel heavier, messier, or more shame-filled than the checklist suggests, stick with me, because there's a reason, and it's not a personal failure. ADHD doesn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of us didn't grow up in calm, predictable homes. We grew up in chaos, alert, watching, learning to read the room, learning when to speak, when to stay quiet, and when to disappear just enough to stay safe. And the wild thing is, those symptoms can look exactly like ADHD symptoms in adulthood. Trouble focusing? That can be ADHD. Or a brain that learned to scan for danger instead of concentrating on algebra homework. Emotional overwhelm? That's ADHD. And also what happens when your nervous system never really had a chance to relax. Impulsivity, shutdowns, people-pleasing, procrastination, hyperfocus, memory gaps. ADHD and childhood trauma share a whole Venn diagram of symptoms. For a long time, I thought that my struggles were proof that something had gone wrong in me early on due to my childhood trauma, that I was permanently damaged. I didn't know I had ADHD. I just knew I was exhausted, sensitive, anxious, and always trying to keep it together and fit in with other people. Masking becomes second nature when you grow up needing to manage other people's reactions. You learn to be fine. You learn to perform normal. And eventually you forget that you're performing at all. You just know you're exhausted. Here's the problem. ADHD already makes life feel like a game where the rules keep changing. Add unresolved childhood trauma to that, and now you're playing on hard mode with no instructions. You forget things. You shame yourself for forgetting. You struggle socially, and you replay awkward conversations for hours afterwards. Oh, should I have said that? Oh, I hope they weren't offended. Maybe I should have done this. It never ends. You need rest, but you feel guilty for needing it. Shame is the multiplier. That's not logic. That's conditioning. A lot of adults with ADHD aren't just distracted. They're hyper aware. They're tracking tone, mood, energy shifts. They're bracing, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And bracing takes a lot of fuel. That's why some of us collapse when we get home. The mask comes off and there's nothing left in the tank. Not because we're weak, but because we've been on high alert since childhood. And here's the key moment I wish someone had told me sooner. Your nervous system learned these patterns to protect you. They worked. They kept you going. But what protected you then may be exhausting you now. That doesn't mean you need to fix yourself. It means you need to understand yourself. Once I learned I had ADHD, something shifted. The story changed from, oh, I'm broken, to, oh, there's a reason I'm like this. And when you remove blame, space opens up for compassion. You start asking different questions, not, oh, why can't I just get it together? But instead, what does my brain need to feel safe enough in order to function? That's a gentler question, a smarter one. Healing for people with ADHD and childhood trauma isn't about grinding harder. It's about turning the volume down on shame. It's about letting your nervous system learn that the danger is no longer constant, that resting doesn't mean you're lazy, and sensitivity isn't a flaw. You can have ADHD and trauma and still build a life that feels steady. Not perfect, but steady enough. And if this video hits close to home, you're not alone, and you're not imagining it. If this video resonates with you, let me know where it hit hardest for you in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll have some interesting links for you in the description. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoy my content, and I will see you in the next one.